Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
All right, so welcome in to the How to YouTube panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some loud noises right now. Nothing that should blow out any eardrums, but we're going to trick everybody. We're going to make them think that this is the coolest panel ever, and they're going to get jealous while sitting outside and be like, well, what the heck? I want to join in. So here's what we're going to do, all right?
What are we going to do?
We're going to make some noise. So for starters, let me know where you guys are at right now. Just make some noise. Just make noise. All right, see, that's a start. That's a start.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go, oh, and you go, oh, oh, and then you go, oh, oh yeah. This is How to YouTube. Everyone outside is missing it. You're really missing a good panel. Are you getting jealous out there? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You're missing out for not entering this.
Why are they leaving? They're all walking outside. Ty, I'm sorry. We just scared everyone away. So welcome in. I'm going to make a quick announcement outside just so everybody, because I heard a few people being like, I think YouTube is next. But yeah, thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming to AliCon, and we'll be kicking this off in just a minute. And yeah, thanks again.
Don't worry, I'll fill time.
Fill time.
I'll
No
fill
silence.
time. All right.
Stop talking.
No. This is How to YouTube by ACRacebest and Viva Reverie. We are here to tell you how to make a YouTube channel which will get you maybe subscribers. Doesn't happen all the time, which is unfortunate, but also not the point, as we will probably detail down the line. There is a lot of nuance and figuring out how exactly to display your YouTube channel out onto the internet to make people watch something that you will enjoy. I'm sorry, I'm hitting off myself. I'm the only person talking on this panel, so I need to think up everything that needs to be said. What?
Thumbnails are everything.
Thumbnail, yes. That's a good point. Tip number one, thumbnails are everything. If you have a good thumbnail, then somebody will click on your video. If your thumbnail is not good, then they will not click on your video, even if the video is the best video ever.
Which it always is.
It always is.
Yeah.
I mean, well, not always. There's also the flip side where your thumbnail is too good, and then people go in the video and they say, bump in the microphone, and they say, oh, this is clickbait. This isn't what I expected would happen. Like such as, for example, calling a video an animation and going into the video and it's not an animation. Clear, obvious, easy example. What is going on outside? Is that race? That might be race. Oh my god, that is race, isn't it? Hey. We have some action. Did we get some success? Yay! We've got somebody.
By the way, thank you to my chant train. That was excellent. When I say you say tube. You. When I say you say tube. You. All right, we're going to work on the volume levels a little bit later on. But welcome, everybody. This is my first official panel here at AliCon 2019. First ever in Australia. Thank you so much for coming out. So, how are y'all doing? Good? No, I know. I'm a projectionist.
Well, you talk into the mic, which no one else does.
Oh, everyone does that.
Yeah, it's like, so I'm here to tell
Hello
you.
guys, welcome to the YouTube panel.
See, but I'm also not used to having like this good of like an AV group that's like, can we give, by the way, a big shout out to all the staff here at AliCon. Big round of applause. I know that Viva and I are super excited to be here. This is a How to YouTube panel. So the way that we've done one of these at other conventions is that essentially it's a panel to kind of help people if you have any questions in regards to YouTube or if you're getting a channel going. But that's not all we're going to be talking about here. If you have random questions, if you have weird stories or whatnot that you want us to share with you, by all means, we are here to share whatever strangeness you want to find out. So yeah, and we will have a Q&A mic here, so if anyone does have questions, we'll get to that in a little bit here. But First we'll do our intros. We're here to have fun. You guys are here to have fun, right? You know, some of you are still thinking about it. We're like, I think I'm here to have fun, but I'm not entirely sure. Viva, are you here to have fun?
I am here to have fun and preferably some food. If I don't get...
We just ate KFC.
Look,
You were saying that Americans eat a lot.
No, I'm saying that if we can have fun. We need both. I don't need food right now, but I will later, and I did previously, so therefore.
I have way too much jet lag for whatever this is.
All right.
So I'm ACRacebest. Hello, everybody. Doing good, doing real good. Again, I'm from America, from Los Angeles, out in California, and I started my YouTube channel before actually I ever got into the show or the fandom. I initially had this plan that I was going to make a bunch of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Ranger videos. Anyone here seen Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers? Yeah. You can make some noise, by the way. Like when I say, anyone seen the show? Like I said, I'm gonna warm you guys up. I'm not getting away. That's where the AC even showed up in my name, because there was a site called the Acorn Cafe that I was like, oh, I'm going to be making a lot of these videos, so that's what the AC stands for. And it stayed really relevant for the one video that I did for the show. And then about a year later, I got into My Little Pony and was seeing a lot of fan content and whatnot, and I got excited because I was like, this looks like a lot of fun to be a part of. The fandom looks like a lot of fun. I love the content that I was seeing, and I'm like, I want to be a part of this. And that's essentially where things really kicked off for my channel. Was of course the Bronies React. Anyone seen Bronies React?
Yes.
All right, cool. We'll be having a panel for that also tomorrow. And those even ramp up on the silliness and kind of the crazy stories and what have you, especially with Viva here. So that's essentially where the YouTube stuff started for me. Viva, what about
My
you?
turn. Okay. Let me tell you how I introduced myself to YouTube. Well, first, I found a website where I found a ninja guy saying, "Hello, this is how to be a ninja." It was like 2007, 8, maybe. I feel whatever. Anyway, so the point is that I eventually said I want to make some videos, and I found a community called the I Am group, or the I'm a group. There was. Essentially it was a bunch of channels dedicated to role-playing as different Smash Bros. Characters. And I chose Toon Link because nobody had chosen Toon Link before. So I made a channel called I'm a Toon Link. And I used it for I was like 13. So I eventually realized that okay, if I'm going to make this my main YouTube channel, this is probably a silly name to go with.
Because you no longer were a Toon Link.
No, not necessarily.
So you went from I'm a Toon Link to I'm not a Toon Link.
Especially considering Smash Bros. Brawl was the last Smash Bros. Game I played as Toon Link in, and then I didn't like him in Smash 4. Anyway, in the Pony fandom, I started making a couple of silly toy videos. The first one I made was called I'm Princess Celestia, using this toy, in which I pointed it towards the camera and I pressed this button over and over again.
Flying is so much fun.
And she says a bunch of that little silly. Let's hear another one.
I love when you comb my hair.
Yeah, there you go. That's what Celestia
That's
says.
so you mean that we didn't even need to bring Nicole out here all along?
No. I've got that covered. So this Celestia I used as a silly little joke thing, and it got thousands of views more than any other video I made up until that point. I'm like, okay, let's do more. And I bought more toys. I was a little too frivolous with my money. I got myself a collection that was way too big. I want to say not soon, shortly after that, I'm like, okay, this is actually getting somewhere. I don't want the name I'm a Toon Link anymore. It's a very silly and mouthy name, and it doesn't mean anything. So I changed it to Viva Reverie. That is the name I go by now. Thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
And I used this horse as my character, which, if you'll notice, I accidentally stained with some Sharpie down here. Ignore that. And I eventually, after making a bunch of these toy videos, said, I want to upgrade, let's try some new things. I started animating, which is a weird leap, I will admit. But I, at that point, had learned how to use like Flash to do some animating and stuff, and said, okay, well, I guess I could turn this into a video thing. And I did, and that caught on too, and now that's what I do. That's the story of my YouTube channel in a nutshell.
That was good. That was really good. So if there's anyone else that would like to admit that they have a problem, please. I'm curious. Anybody, by raise of hands, who else has a YouTube channel? YouTube channels all over the place. Curious, like, what is your YouTube channel? What do you do?
Blind Reactor.
Okay, Blind Reactor. What do you do?
I have 2 channels. I have my music channel and then Praise the Dog music channel.
So you manage 2 music channels. What about you?
Basically, I make PMVs. I work for like Anthology, and I
AMV's Anthology. Who else? Who else had a hand up here? What do you do?
I don't know.
I don't know. You have one video, right?
Yeah.
And what is that one video?
Introduction to my channel with all the ideas like...
Hey!
So you already have
It's a start.
You already have your sales pitch. Now you just need. What about you behind? Gaming videos. So again, obviously, as you can just see here in the crowd, a lot of variation. Anyone here who doesn't have a YouTube channel who's like, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. Okay, all right, we got a couple. Any ideas?
A bunch of things, a bunch of topics, real life, fun. Then you think about doing something like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That covers everything. So cool. What about you?
Mine's going to be like crafts and art stuff.
Okay.
From someone who's never done anything
Crafts and
before.
arts and all that stuff. Teaching people some of the craft and whatnot.
Teaching and stumbling through it myself.
Oh, and teaching yourself as you go. See, that can be cool. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch of ideas, a whole bunch of different approaches to YouTube. There's one thing that I've discovered over years of not only doing it myself, but working with a whole bunch of people that also are YouTubers and whatnot. Some have found success, some haven't found that success. Is that there's almost no exact right answer of how to YouTube, which means that this whole panel is a fraud. And you've all been duped. So, but essentially, like I said, we're here to kind of share some stories or advice or whatnot. So if anybody has any questions, we do have a Q&A mic. And how do we want people to line up with this mic?
They can just line up back there.
Alright, down the aisle.
Yeah, should be good.
So what we'll do is everybody can line up right here. And if anyone is unable to make it to the mic, I can help you out. So I will help you. But does anyone want to form a line? Here, I'll be the first one. I'll ask the first question. Anyone want to get? There we go. Thank you for not making me feel awkward.
Hello, what is your question?
I forgot my question. I'll let you go first.
Line back up when you're
Thank you.
Oh, there goes Race.
It's called camera adjustment. I'm YouTubing.
Hey, this is expert YouTubing in action. It takes like 10 years of experience to get this good.
Yeah? Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Alright. I say go ahead and ask your question.
How do you record in summer?
How do I record in summer?
It's really quick.
Alright.
This is the most Australian question to kick things off. Let me tell you how confused I was when I looked at what the weather was going to be like this weekend. I'm like, okay, every picture I've ever seen of Australia looks really hot. Okay, so it's just going to be hot. Australia looks hot. And then I got...
It's not wet.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't realize Australia even had winter. That was a joke. And then I luckily looked right before I left and went, oh, I should be packing pants, not just swimsuits.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me jump in the ocean.
Don't be like having Simpson and packed winter gear when I was going to visit Australia and realizing summer hemisphere opposite.
Yeah, see, it caught me off guard.
I wouldn't have stopped you jumping. No. I suggested you probably should.
It was a very strong suggestion, in fact. So I'll let you take this one of how do you film during summer?
Well, there was actually there was for a Brony's React. I specifically remember I said, I'm sorry, I cannot record. It is very hot. I need to wait until the temperature goes down, or I just have to record with a fan on. And with that in mind, I say avoid it. but otherwise, if you absolutely do need to, angle your fan away from where your microphone is angled, which I guess it depends on what kind of microphone you have. I'm lucky. I bought a very expensive Sennheiser MKH 416 boom mic, shotgun mic, which I can have like way off camera, point it towards me, and it only picks me up. It's very nice. So if you have the money, do that, and then just have a fan pointing at you and making your hair do this all day. Which is a solution, I think. Yeah, it's an issue that you just have to deal with as it comes. If you can get away with filming, like, I guess there's, like, you can film it, like, when it's dark, when it's not as hot, when it's, like, when the sun's down, the sun isn't...
Does it cool down here, like, when it's hot? Does it
the interesting thing is that, so I live in Canberra, so I can speak out of experience. I think it's similar in Adelaide, where it is hot during the day, it is cold during the night, which is very nice, and I very much appreciate it. When I go up to Brisbane, it is hot during the day, and it's still hot during the night, and I hate it.
But there are some days here, there's some days here where it could be midnight, it could be 30, 32 degrees, and if it's muggy, it feels like 45,
so
even at midnight. So
you need to understand that when I hear it's 32 degrees, I'm hearing that it is the freezing temperature for water. Which is the same thing when I was asked, oh, so how hot was it when you left home? And I said, we were in the hundreds. And everybody looked at me like I was the craziest person in the world.
Oh, sorry, so between 105 and 100.
See, that doesn't sound fun. I'll try 100 degrees Celsius, because that's what I
nearly 100 for your point of view, the hardest summer here was almost, for your point of view, almost 120.
I've been in 120 degree weather.
For a week or nearly 2 weeks.
Not that long though. No, it was just a day.
One thing here is that if you have the money, you flee to the Northern Hemisphere in summer to escape the heat.
So you run away is what everyone's telling you.
Pretty much.
So one thing to go off of what Viva was saying also, if you are utilizing a fan or something, a lot of, like if you're using just a camcorder, that's where I actually record most of my audio off of for my videos. So if you don't have like an expensive mic or anything to work off of, just kick that microphone, that's right. The one thing that a lot of the camcorders have built in is the microphone is directional. So if you also set up a fan behind, say, the camcorder, you might still get a hum or something, but it's also more comfortable. And plus, I've noticed that with ambient noise, if it's light enough, sometimes just having kind of like light music playing with what you're saying can also help cover up some of your
That is a good idea. Or noise removal, which I don't like using because it sometimes muddies the audio up a bit. But essentially, if you have like a white noise, which can also be like a bad white noise, which happens with low quality microphones where like in the background there's like a constant and it sucks and I hate it.
Nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, exactly. You go on like a free program like Audacity can do this, where you say, okay, take this white noise and get rid of it. And it works. I don't like using it, if only because, like I said, like some of the highs go away, but otherwise it is a way to get one. Okay, here's a tip regarding how like people perceive video quality. Sometimes, like if your content is good, it can like surpass the need for good quality. Obviously, if you can strive for good quality video. But it's not necessarily a necessity if you want to make like good content anyway. Like some of some channels start out with like just like a good idea, even if like their equipment isn't the best. If their idea is like good, fun, and creative, it can produce like really like entertaining video. And then with that, you can say like, okay, well this is caught on. I can now improve my setup and make it sound good and like. Get myself that $1,000 microphone. So that's my suggestion.
Yeah. So thank you for your question. All right. Next question, and then we gotta fill that line. Come on, someone's gotta have a question. There you go. And like I said, it doesn't have to be, and I'll make sure that we get to you too.
I had multiple questions if that's any help. question would be, if you want to do two very drastically different styles of video, would it be better to just put them both on the same channel and hope that people are okay with that, or do two separate channels?
Good question, because that's a question I've had to confront myself. Because I, once upon a time, I did my toy videos. I eventually transitioned to the animated videos. And obviously what I eventually went with is I'm sticking with this one channel because this is where my fan base is. And my thought is there will be a sizable portion of your fan base who will come to you for your style of content. Like, despite the fact that I transitioned from two completely different, like, media forms, it was still, like, my kinds of jokes. It was still, like, my style of humor, which, comes out with that. If you want to be, like, extremely, like, professional, you can be like, I have a series of videos, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3 are the only things uploaded on this channel. You can do that. It's just that I think having like a free-for-all platform like I use my channel for is definitely like a good place to just be like, alright, so here's a 10-second whatever and it's fun and it's something that I made and check it out, and then people will be like, oh, this is nice. So my suggestion is if you want to make more than one kind of thing, if you have like two different channels, there's a good chance that they'll just create like a divided fan base as opposed to like one big core one where like interactions can be made between like, oh, I watched your other videos and I liked them and I didn't check out that other series until recently. I'm like, oh, you know what, I like this too, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's, for me, I have one of the most random YouTube channels that I know of. On one side I have Bronies React. On another side I have PMVs, which, MLP, not too different. Then over here I have Convlogs, still pretty MLP related, but, it can vary from convention to convention. Over here I have the low budgets, which is me doing demolition derbies and destroying cars, all on the same channel. And one thing I've seen a lot of successful YouTube channels do is utilize the separation, but I feel like you almost want to wait until you're, like, it seems like in a lot of cases, like for me, my channel is in a lot of cases a hobby. So it's not like I live or die or don't eat because of a certain success rate, but with that, if I, like for example, if I wanted to start doing gaming videos at this point, I would separate that to a different channel. Because I feel like it helps when you sometimes have a bit of a following or you've kind of started off and people get to know who you are on one channel, and then you progress to the next bit of content and say, hey, so I'm doing this, and even if it's at a different channel, still letting people know, like, here's the direction you want to go, I have multiple channels, and then kind of build yourself that way. I think that might help.
Right, I didn't think about gaming channels. That's actually a very good point, because with...
What I currently do is gaming, but I want to expand into...
Right, because
talking and story stuff.
Yeah, one of the issues with a gaming channel is... There's a... Well, sure. YouTube hates everyone. If you have a gaming channel, you will have lots and lots and lots of videos because they're like... But then if you want to make like stuff with like a higher production value, those take more time than just recording yourself making a video about or recording yourself playing a game. Likewise, if you have like gaming video, very high quality 3-year projects, please watch gaming video, it'll get like sunk by everything else, like and like be lost in the mess. That is a context where it does make sense to have a separate channel. I think like gaming videos in particular are like the exception to the rule, where I say, oh, it's good to have like a free-for-all like sort of channel, but have a separate gaming channel.
We draw the line.
We draw the line at gaming channel. It's just because I feel like if you have like something that you really want to do, and you present it, and it just gets lost in a sea of other videos, that can be unincentivizing. What's the word? And so likewise, I definitely say have two different channels for that in particular. Yeah, that context, it could just be contextual. Maybe I'm just stupid and think, oh, always do the
We know that we're stupid.
Yes. Yes.
They're just figuring it out. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's what makes it funny.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your question. So, in the front row, I know that you had a question that you wanted to ask.
What do you do if someone else, I'm very loud anyway.
That's fine.
Yes.
What do you do if someone else has the same YouTube name as you?
Oh, you find them, and then you tell them, you say, I want your name. They'll give it to you. This is funny actually because when I started my YouTube channel, I was just going to be ACRacebest. That was it. There was not going to be any AC because then everyone wouldn't have to ask me what does the AC stand for. But the thing about it is that when I tried to make that channel way back in the day, the whole reason the AC showed up was because it told me that the name was taken. The annoying part about it is when I tried to look up the YouTube channel ACRacebest, there was nothing that showed it even existed. So,
YouTube didn't even tell me other people had taken it.
Yeah.
So other people have the same name as me, and I only figured it out when I had finished setting it up and thought, oh, maybe someone else has got the same name as me.
And it does
I
happen.
scrolled through hundreds of videos, and then I found two other people.
Yeah, it does happen, and unfortunately, the answer is you're gonna have to adjust the name. It's unless YouTube's changed the way they allow named channels.
I think you can just change your name whenever you want. There might be like a limit, actually. I remember when I went to change my name from I'm a Tuner to Viva Reverie, it's just like, you can only do this once, are you sure? I'm like, okay, I'll make sure I'm doubly, triply sure about this. Yeah, I think the thing with having two channels with the same name is that
So you're just to double check, your channel already exists, and it has the name.
I created it, but two other people have created this years before me, and I didn't even know they existed, and then I created mine.
Is it because you want to change your name, or is it just like you're just concerned that someone else has that same name?
Yeah, I just didn't want people to think that I stole the name.
Oh.
Wants to figure it out.
Just let them send their legal team after you whenever it's that one. No, I see the cringe face there. And I'm joking, but like I don't think the problem is that if YouTube is allowing multiple similar channel names, that's on YouTube. That's not your fault.
It's exactly the same name.
So I'd say maybe just don't even worry about it. Like honestly, like just keep doing what you're doing. With that one video where you're telling people what you're going to be doing. So
I say there is an exception to that rule, and that is, I made this really cool name, and I thought it was original. I called my channel PewDiePie, and it turns out somebody else already...
Is that your name? Is your channel name PewDiePie? Smart.
Yeah, because the issue there is that PewDiePie, as someone who exists, has a lot of prominence, makes frequent content, and if you try and start your channel named PewDiePie, you will be overshadowed by them. If there's more than one person with the same name, but only one of those people is making content, like really frequently, then yours will stand out in like search results and the such. So you can be concerned that other people have the same name. Have you seen whether they make content frequently at all?
They left theirs about 5 years ago.
There you go. So it's probably fine. Yeah.
You won't have an issue, especially if you start garnering an audience. Once you start putting videos out, decide what you want to do.
No matter what, when they Google that name, they will find your channel.
Yeah, your stuff will be popping up. So I'd say you're probably fine. And if you do decide down the road that maybe I should change the name, that option I think is always there. Like Viva said, it's not like you can keep changing it. But
Yeah. There's also if worst comes to worst, you can do a rebrand. I did a rebrand. People still call me I'm a Toonlink. I discontinued that name a very, very long time ago. So doing a rebrand doesn't work 100% of the time. But especially if your channel is relatively small, you can rebrand pretty safely, I'd say. So if you are really, really concerned that somebody else has the same name as you, if you were to look through different alternative names, Google it and be like, am I really sure this time? And you'll be fine. But I still think it wouldn't be an issue for your case in particular.
So to finish off this question though, I'm curious, what is your channel name?
Strawberry Heart. There's at least a video with the same name, Strawberry Heart. That's just
Strawberry Heart.
That's just what I found. There's probably at least 5 more people with the same name.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, yeah, I'd say go for it. And if you ever decide you do want to change it, like you said, there's that option's always there. Now we've got a line. Look at this. Good work, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah. Everybody, give yourself a round of applause. Hello.
Hello. Make sure I'm talking into it now. Hello.
Hello.
I like to think that I'm fairly good at public speaking. I was the president of a Rotary Club and did lots of talks and genetics and all that stuff. But every time I go and try and take a video of myself talking about these same things without anyone there listening, I'm like, I'm a crazy person talking to myself. How do you conquer doing the same presenting stuff but without having an audience? Because I'm great with an audience.
Isn't
when
that
I'm
funny?
alone, I'm
I've
weird.
heard this before from other YouTubers. Some of my friends are like, it feels so awkward talking to piece of machinery that's just looking at me, and you'd think it would almost be easier. I mean, the biggest thing that I know that's helped me, because I never really felt that awkwardness, but I think it's just because I did it so much, and I do it so much. I mean, just
practice makes perfect.
Yeah, and just the other day, I was walking down Adelaide filming myself, and I see all these Australian people, I can only assume they were Australians, are just like, and I'm like, do people not vlog in Australia, or is it just like me? Is it really that? Okay, so maybe
They tend to
that's
get attacked by magpies.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, really, it's just a matter, kind of like public speaking. The biggest way that I know most people get over the fear or the anxiety of public speaking is doing it, putting yourself into that. So I'd say just keep doing it. All right. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. I know there's a lot of opinions about it, but what would you say personally is your favorite or the best video editing software?
Video editing
software.
I'm Team Vegas Pro, if only because it was my first one and I never changed, and it's fine. And
Never forget it.
yeah, pretty much. Well, actually, no. Technically, it wasn't my first.
Windows Movie Maker.
Windows Movie Maker was my first.
Yeah.
And I think what eventually made me switch over was the fact that you can't edit things like with frame precision. It's like if you want to make something really, really short, the shortest you can make it is like 5 frames, and like that took me off.
That's what
I mean, it's like if I'm trying to do like something fancy and precise and perfect, and like it doesn't let me be precise. I like being on the number with my things.
Yeah.
Even back then, it didn't let me do that. The reason why I keep calling it Sony Vegas, they haven't been under Sony's name for a very long time now. Now they're under like Magix, I think is the company.
Oh, I didn't even know this.
Yeah. So I keep thinking Sony Vegas. No, it's not Sony Vegas. Vegas Pro. That's what they call themselves now. Anyway, but yeah, it was. It does everything that an editing software should give you the options to do. It's got all those plugins. It's got export all the options. It gives you all the options, and it's got a nice interface. And I like. I've memorized all the shortcuts, that kind of thing. And I have no idea how to use Premiere or the other Mac equivalents software.
They're hard to pick up. It depends. I mean, I guess like my question back is, do you know what kind of videos you want to make?
Yes.
What kind?
Like probably vlog style maybe.
Vlog style? Okay, so for me, I do a fair amount of vlogs. I'm also Vegas Pro, and again, it's because that's the program. I don't know how I ended up starting with it, but that's what I ended up really getting into. Again, I didn't start with it. Movie Maker. Then I went to something called like Nero or something. I can't remember even what it was called. my mom bought this editing program and was like, oh great, now we can edit all of our home videos together. And I'm the only one who used it making like stupid movies and stuff.
Hey, you're still making home videos.
And still making stupid videos, just everything. So, but yeah, and then, yeah, so Vegas Pro, I love the interface of it. I feel like, and again, it's easy now to say like, oh, I feel like it's really easy to use, but I know people who work with like After Effects, and that's the kind of program that if you're looking to get into like more heavy video editing or like
special effects,
crazy type PMVs where you got stuff flying at you all over the place.
After Effects is better for that.
After Effects is really good with like masking tools and all that. But if you're looking at vlog stuff,
Sony Vegas is fine.
Yeah.
It's not Sony Vegas. It's
Vegas
Pro is fine.
And there's I know that they do like humble bundles with it from time to time.
Yes,
so
in fact,
you can get it for cheap.
very highly recommend that. And also, not to mention, one of the biggest reasons why I chose Vegas Pro over Premiere is Premiere is a subscription service, and I hate subscription services. Vegas Pro is a permanent license, buy it once a year, done. You can just keep it forever.
It's also semi-easy to pirate it.
But
That might be
you
how
can
I
pirate
use
it. I don't advocate for it. If you have the money to purchase it.
What a dirty word. Pirates. But thank you for your question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Way too tall for this. Okay. So, 2 questions, if you may. One serious, one just for fun.
Good.
Okay.
All right. So I gave Nicole this question earlier, and I want to give you guys the same chance to answer this one. As content creators, entertainers, I feel that there comes a time when you have that wow moment where you realize that you're making a big difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
Share us a story each of a time when you had that just wow moment. Why is that?
I think, like, showing up to a convention and just, like, constantly having, like, every now and then, you just get, like, people just, like, oh, I'm sorry, am I bothering you? It's like, I'm so nervous to be able to see it. Like, that kind of response is just like, wow. I've made these fun videos and people, like stumble over their words when they see me, and, like, that's, like crazy to me. Like, every time it happens, and I don't know how to articulate it beyond, like, it being just, like, a crazy experience that I can travel all the way around the world and go to a location and just wander around and constantly being stopped by people. I sound like I'm, like, being pestered, but no, being stopped like very, very frequently. It's just like, oh my god, it's Viva, and that's really, like, that's a, like, it's a moment. It's always, I never get tired of it. Yeah, it's, I don't know what else to add on to that, just besides it just being great.
So, one thing as a content creator, when I got into this stuff, I've always done it for fun. I've always done it to hopefully make others laugh, but I'm also like, hey, if it makes me laugh, I did my job, you know? And I feel like that's a good way to start even approaching content, isn't thinking like, because I know sometimes a discouraging bit when you get into it is, oh, it's hard to even, oh, I'm not getting a lot of numbers, a lot of views, a lot of subscribers. But if you're making the content for yourself, first and foremost, and you're enjoying what you're doing, that's good.
Yes.
And for me, since that's the approach that I had to it, you start seeing comments come in, and when I had the first Bronies React that I created was really where my channel kicked off. And, just getting to see a lot of the comments there, there were people who were, oh, Bronies this, and oh yeah, Bronies that. But it was starting to go to conventions. And I personally never would have guessed, or you almost can't know, that when you start having people come up to you and say that your content has saved my life. People telling you that the stuff that you're doing isn't just something that's like, oh, it made me laugh. Like saying like, no, you took me out of a depressive state. Like when I've had a bad day, I'm able to, turn on my computer and watch one of your videos. And while I've been told this numerous times, it's still one of those things that every time you hear it, you're just like, my gosh, like, you don't realize the impact that you can have on people until you have that person come up to you and say that. One story that I think of is actually there was this, man, back in the day, BronyCon 2013, it was the first BronyCon I ever went to out in Baltimore, and there was this little girl that was there who like ran up, and I was with a group of my friends, a lot of us doing YouTube, like ACRacebest and SeaSpray and a lot of them, and this girl runs up to us. I don't know how old she was, and I could probably do the math, knowing what I know now, which I'll explain. But I mean, she was young, you know, grade school, and she was just so excited. She knew who all of us were. You know, she's named, oh, it's ACRacebest, SeaSpray. And she even even some of us that were like, oh dang, I didn't even know she'd know who this person was. And it was so sweet. And then we noticed her dad was kind of sitting off to the side and observing everything. And so a couple of us walked over just to make sure like he wasn't like, oh, what's going on here? It's kind of weird. My daughter's talking to all these grown men that I've never seen before. And so we just wanted to check in and make sure like, oh, you're okay, we're not holding you up. And he's like, no, you guys don't understand that like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened for her. And he got into telling us that back in school that she's been getting bullied and dealing with that, and it's been a really tough time for her. And that he's like, this has made her year. You know, just being able to even see and talk with you guys. And it's just one of those things where you're like, you sit back and go like, who would have thought? Like when I started making some joke content and having fun and goofing off, that it's something that can literally change people's lives. And this girl, her name was Grayson, you know, you always hope when you leave something like that, like I hope that this made her feel better. I hope that this helped her in some way. And just at this last BronyCon, the last one that they ever had, I was leaving a panel, and all of a sudden I got a tap on the shoulder, and I turned around, and there's Grayson, grown up. And she's telling, you know, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna be going off to college this year. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're making me feel so old. But it is unbelievable. Like you don't realize it, and then someone tells you, and then you just sit back and go like, oh, like I genuinely wish that nobody needed the content to feel better. But the fact that we're able to help people out, in that case, or like you said, walk around to conventions, the fact that I can, you know, give people some of my time and it makes their day, or make, you know, that to me is one of the most special and coolest things about being a content creator that I ever could have imagined. So that's my answer. Thank you. Now for the goofy question.
The goofy one, if you don't mind.
Oh, let's do it.
If there's one thing that you want to say to M.A. Larson right now, what is it?
I hate you. Say I hate you, Viva. Say I hate you.
I don't.
Say it. You do hate. Don't kiss his butt. Tell him. Tell him right now. He's watching.
You're a little mediocre sometimes.
All the way from Australia, M.A. Larson. Yeah. Take that. They don't even know. He's like on the phone with him. He's like crying right now. Who here knows M.A. Larson? You guys know M.A. Larson. Do you know? No? There are not a lot of people, so now everyone's like, wow, we just went from this really heartfelt story to ACRacebest is a jerk. M.A. Larson's one of the writers on the show. And he is
fantastic.
Sure. No, he's a guy like we say. Yeah, he gave toilet wings. We call him like the crazy uncle. At least like for Saber and I, he's like a crazy uncle who's like, he just ran into him. The last time I saw him, he showed up at one of our room parties with his like hat backwards. It was like, hey there, fellow kids, like, what's up? But yeah, no, M.A. Larson. He's definitely kind of like definitely a show icon, but also kind of a fandom icon. He loves to sign a whole bunch of stuff when he ever shows up at conventions, so watch out, don't get near him. He has permanent markers and he's not afraid to use them. I know he's signed babies and all sorts of things. But we oftentimes will get in these like jokingly, well, we call them jokingly, but they're totally real. But we'll get into like little bits with him. Last time I saw him, he smacked me with marshmallow cream.
So you take me rare, I imagine.
Yeah, rare. Hello. So you have a question?
I got two questions. One, it depends on, well, you're taking film videos and reviewing books or interesting colors books that are real non-fiction about certain issues, but I'm not sure if I want to do it recording myself and not having a video of me, or having me talk about it, or having it get someone to animate. I mean, I can't animate for anything. I have no clue how to do that, but what would your thoughts be on the best way to make videos talking about a certain subject, something about books or parts of it?
So you want to do like reviews of books? And
let's
stuff?
just talk about or expand about it.
If you want there's different like so you can have like high production value. I'm gonna have like me be animated and like changing poses frequently, like SeaSpray's videos he's been doing. Definitely a quick and easy way you can have like moving pictures is by having you behind the camera, which can be a lot more like appealing of a video than just like a static image, where it's just like, hello, I'm talking over a black screen, or maybe a cover of a book or something, and that's not the most riveting thing. So I would definitely say, if you're like, if you're camera shy, then you can get away with still doing, maybe you could.
And if you're flutter shy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I'm not yelling at me.
But so there's lots of different like ways you can present yourself doing like these kinds of what?
Put yourself as a pony and do moves.
That is something people do.
Yeah, that's like lots of people do
like
that.
being a pony, but I'm afraid to get near Larson and like pop some wings and
See, you understand the M.A. Larson terror that's
I joined the fandom in 2013.
God bless this country for having so few people that understand how terrible M.A. Larson is.
I got in the fandom mid-2013 when Mrs. showed me Marriage Duel because I love Star Wars, and she's like, hey look, you found it's funny. And that's how I got started in the fandom, watching that. It's like, oh my god, that is actually true. But then a few months later, the Twilight Corn outburst hit. I'm like, okay, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, as far as Viva was saying, though, like moving pictures and whatnot, I try to incorporate that too whenever I'm doing more informational type videos.
Yeah.
It's amazing how just the slightest edit to a picture, just doing this versus sitting still.
Oh, it adds a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you, whenever I'm making like a video, I never like sitting on like a static image, like pretty much ever, which by the way means that you will never release videos ever because you're spending 7 years editing them. I know that one very quick, easy, kind of cheaty way to do it is record game footage and put that in the background over like a talkie video. That's something that like gained like popularity over a long period of time, because like then your eyes are just like, I'm entertained by the moving pictures, but I'm still listening to the audio.
Those always throw me off though, because I assume the person's playing while they're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're just like, yeah, so I'm here to talk to you about this drama that's happening on the internet. And they're like,
and
all this stuff's going on. I'm like, wow, that is multitasking.
Something
Incredible.
I must get my kill gun up and talk to you about the serious issue. Hang on a second. Yeah, got it.
And did you say you had a couple questions?
Yeah. Sorry. The second one's more funny wise, but I know of your infamous philosophy thinking deep video.
Philosophy being deep.
The the one where it's just celestial food.
Yeah.
So do you voice that?
No, that was a song by Jean-Jacques Perry.
Oh, it's an actual song.
Yeah, it's a song called Merry France, and I animated to it using Celestia going, and it became a very popular video, and that was a fun thing. Lots of people.
See, and how do you explain the success on some of our videos? I don't know.
Exactly.
She went there again.
The thing about that one.
She flew to the castle. It's okay.
The thing about that one in particular is that it like kind of gained like meme status like outside of like I have like videos that are like central to like my channel, and like people who watch my videos will get that joke. people who are nowhere near my videos still know what Celestial Being Deep is. And that's nuts for me, but it's great. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I think you did it.
Yeah, good.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah,
How
did you
You're not in line, that's cheating. What were you saying?
how do you like Emily Larson's book when you were reading it?
You think I wasted time reading his book? My wife's read his book, and it's weird. Like they have like a hey, what's up, dude? Relationship, and I'm like, no. Humanize. Oh. That's gonna be our thing. I'm gonna have people start drop kicking it.
Yeah. There we go. Like something. My main question is, when you're able to do so many things like being an artist and playing video games and that, how do you typically a lot of the more popular channels are generally based on one thing, like you have generally a gaming channel or like an artist kind of channel and they're getting a lot of popularity through that one focus. How do you get the motivation to be and like the selectiveness to choose which one of your talents to kind of chase up and to get audience behind? How do you keep the motivation? How do you keep the motivation to actually get past that first hurdle of actually making it happen?
I think the issue with like, I think this the thing with making content is it's always like you can make content for an audience or you can make content for yourself for an audience. And my thought is that like if you're going to make content, you should make something that would entertain you. And likewise, it motivates you to make that content in the first place. And other like-minded people will come along and be like, yes, I enjoy this because you enjoy it, and other people will have similar tastes to you. That's always been my mantra when telling people, okay, so if you want to make content, make something that you would enjoy, which would then circumvent like the hurdles in the first place. The issue is that sometimes you think you like making something and then you run into hurdles anyway. I think it's like the difference of something being a hobby to something being a job. Where suddenly, instead of it being like, I'm making this because I want to make this, it's I'm making this because I have to make this. And that can be demotivating. I know it has been for me.
Causes burnout too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The burnout, it's natural to everyone, I think. Like having times where it's just like, oh, I should kind of probably be making something, but I'm not, and I really am not motivated to do it. Even though I make like content that I know I like watching and seeing, it can be a bit much sometimes. My suggestion for overcoming that hurdle is to. There was a suggestion I remember hearing this from. Daniel Avedon of Ninja Sex Party, who says, if you're going to work on something, do at least something every day. That something can be like 2 minutes in an editing program, it can be like 1 click, or it could be 5 hours. So long as you're doing something every day, you're always making progress to it being completed.
That's how I approach my job.
There you go.
Like my engineering work, they're like, why haven't you done anything? And I'm like, I did a clip. All day. Actually, no, you get fired. But I get your point. No, like, I totally, yeah. As far as like the diversifying, again, I have a lot of random stuff on my channel. And it's stuff that, like, again, like from the low budgets, like I still got a whole bunch of stuff in the pipeline that I'm working on. That's from like way back that I'm like, no, I'm gonna get to it. For me, it helps making a schedule and then laying out all the projects that I have that I want to do, and like in this bracket of time, like 6 months. And then if there's some stuff that I'm like, I'll get to it eventually, I'll just kind of write it down. It's good to write down ideas, by the way, because they do leave your mind and you go, oh, was there something else I wanted to do? But yeah, so what I'll do is like, I'll I'll kind of make a priority list and be like, okay, if we have a bronies rack that we're working on, that's gonna get all this time of mine, and then I try to work on smaller stuff too. Like again, with like a lot of the vlogs and stuff that I'll work on. I call that not like com vlogs, but like other kind of vlogs I'll do. I call it filler content, where I try to have some stuff like kind of logged. So if I'm stuck working on a bronies rack for a couple weeks, I can have that stuff upload while I'm working over here on this editing. So yeah, so it's really just kind of picking and choosing, and sometimes it's a matter of choosing your favorite children, or I forget the phrasing now. But basically just kind of deciding. It doesn't mean you have to drop any of the other projects. It's just sometimes you want to hold other ones off to focus on the ones that might get a little bit more attention.
Yeah. I also had another question for each of your specific channels. How do you get your ideas for your channel? Because yours is a lot more sort of random-esque, and I've noticed there are like 2 renditions of the whole horse walking into a bar thing. One of them was like had something to do with like.
That's right. So the first one of those, if I remember correctly, was school projects. It was just like a quick animation project. I'm like, okay, and the joke I made at the very start of that was. The sun and the moon are both in the sky. And then later, the show does the same thing where this says sun and the moon in the sky. Yeah. And so I decided to make like a second version of the video that starts the same, but then my character will interrupt saying, I did this first. That was me. I made this joke first before the show did it. And so that's what that was for. I'm sorry, that was a tangent. Were you asking something?
Oh yeah, it was just basically like
how do you
yes. Think of ideas like
definitely
takes a hammer and does
yeah, exactly. You know what I do? I have a big list of like jokes, I don't refer to this list anymore. But back when I was making those videos, this is how I did it. I had a list of jokes. And essentially I'm like, okay, out of nowhere I just thought up another joke, add that to the list. And then when I wanted to make a video, I need to say this in past tense because I do videos slightly differently now. I took one of those jokes and I wrote a script around it. Like for example, I made a video called The Mystical Horse of Water, or Water Horse, whatever it was. And the joke I took was, oh, it's a mirage. I mean an oasis. And wrote a script around that, and that's like a joke in the video, but it's like only one joke of like 20. And so that's just like an interesting that's a way I
get those extra minutes of montage.
No, that's not what I do. I don't care about the montage. If I have a funny script, then it's gonna end when I'm out of jokes.
So like an object kind of there's lots of large furniture and just had a list of jokes.
Yep. Yep. So we have, by the way, just real quick, we have like 1.5 minutes. So we will make sure we get through the rest of the time. Yes. What was yours?
Oh yeah. And I understand you do Demolition Derby.
Yep.
Is there any car that you were proud to smash?
That I was proud of? Every one of them I'm proud of. For those that don't know, we paint up the Demolition Derby cars as ponies, as characters on the show, and as Zootopia characters as well. And yeah, I always love seeing the one. I think my favorite car I ever drove was the Judy Hopps car that my wife created, and it's got these big old ears, and things went well in that car as well. But yeah, thank you. And that's the low budgets for anyone that doesn't know. So we will get through these last 2 questions. I want to mention really quickly though, does everyone here know what Hooves Line is? Anyone that doesn't, by raising hands. Anyone who's like, what's Hooves Line? Alright, Hooves Line, which is a show that's going to be coming up in about an hour from now, is an improv comedy show. Viva's going to be on it, I'm going to be on it. It's a show that we've taken all throughout conventions in the States. It's the first time I'll ever be like hosting / doing it by myself, because the team that I usually do it with, including Saber Spark or Black Griffin or a lot of other people.
Animated James?
Not Animated James, no. But yeah, it's going to be crazy, just comedy stuff for an hour. You don't want to miss it. Nicole's also going to be taking part in it as well. So really quickly, we'll get through these last 2 questions.
Speed round.
Who is Miss Queen?
Rainbow Dash.
Dash.
I'm not gonna take you down. I hurt my ankle last time I did it, but that was really good answer.
Yeah, first, good
Do you hear that? Hear that, Saber Spark? Take that. So you're considered something new here.
Every now and then I'm like, ask me on different days to speak pie. Sometimes it's Rainbow Dash, sometimes I say cheese sandwich. But I knew when I'm sitting next to you, it is Rainbow Dash.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And then our
I
last.
think you mean dirty.
No.
No,
But don't be scared. You saw that? That hurt. I still have a bruise on my ankle.
We need to.
So, did you have a question?
How long does it take usually to make a brownies?
Bronies React. It's honestly about 3 weeks a month of work. It starts with me sending out formats to everybody and just figuring out who's going to be on them. And then the formats basically just kind of lay out, here's a, I'm sure nobody even reads them anymore because everyone's gotten them
I
numerous
double
times.
check every now and then. Once upon a time, it's just like, oh, react to the blah blah opener. No, I react since it's the finale.
Yeah.
Maybe like goodness.
Sometimes I have, yeah. So yeah, I'll do that, and then once I get everybody's footage, we tie everything together, and it a couple weeks of editing to get it out. So it's about a month worth of turnaround. So yeah, well, thank you, and thank you everybody for coming out to the How to YouTube panel. You were great. Again, we're gonna have a Bronies React panel tomorrow, but do not miss Who's Line coming up in about an hour. So we'll see you there.